In Movies and Money, life is but a scream at the box office. Let's bring in movie man Erik Childress. Hello to you, Erik.
Hi, Angie.
Well, Scream had a solid opening over the holiday weekend. How do you think it will sustain that success until the next big release?
Well, I believe you will see it high on the box office chart for the next 2 weeks, but that's only because not much is opening until the first week of February. But ranking isn't the same as dollars, and I have a feeling the $33.8 million, the so-called requel made over the 4-day weekend, is going to look pretty front-loaded. Now, I know there is some praise out there among the exclusive horror critics, and I don't know if those who saw it thought the film was as smug and bad as I did, but falling somewhere in the middle, this is probably headed for a big drop this weekend. Now, apart from A Quiet Place Part 2 last year, no other horror film has reached $100 million during the pandemic. Halloween Kills couldn't even do it with a $49 million opening. The Scream would have to have a Wolfman-like drop for the film not to approach somewhere around $70-80 million total, which would be a solid haul on just a $24 million budget, and it can easily claim itself as the first success story of 2021.
Spiderman No Way Home was knocked off of its #1 slot, but continues to clean up a month after its release and is now becoming a piece of box office history. What can you tell us?
It really is amazing, as one character in No Way Home calls another. But this is in some ways even more impressive than what Avengers Endgame did because of restrictions, because of caution, because of all these things that we have gone through the last 2 years. But here we are with a film during a worldwide pandemic that has grossed over $702 million domestically, which is the 4th best ever, and $1.62 billion across the globe, which is 8th best, and it is less than $50 million away from 6th place. The Saturday Night Live even chimed in over the weekend, suggesting that people stop seeing Spider-Man to slow down the spread of Omicron. Doubtful anyone will heed a warning from that show, but it would not surprise me a bit if Spider-Man No Way Home actually reclaimed the throne atop the box office this weekend. The Spider-Man made $24.6 million over the holiday, which was just a little more than $9 million below what Scream made, and its drop this weekend could be 20 to 30% lower than what the horror requel is facing. If not this weekend, certainly the next, as these films will likely be the top 2 films until Jackass Forever opens on February 4th.
The popular Sundance Film Festival is happening all virtually this year. For people who do have access, are there some films that you would recommend?
There are, Angie, and I'll be continuing to discover new titles this week as I celebrate my 20th year covering this festival, only in the comfort of my home. Now, last year when the festival went virtual, they had a wonderful screening app that people could utilize on their streaming components such as Apple Plus, Roku, and their Fire TVs. Most would say it was the best of all the fests that shifted to at-home viewing, and I can recommend some films that they can check out if they have passes or may want to get tickets for. On the documentary front, there is Nothing Compares, a terrific documentary on the career of Sinead O'Connor and the public furor she created due to many beliefs that are more commonplace today. La Guerra Civil, or The Civil War, is an entertaining doc directed by Eva Longoria Baston about the Ultimate Glory boxing match between Oscar de la Hoya and Julio Cesar Chavez. There's also a 4-part documentary by W. Kamau Bell called We Need to Talk About Cosby that I highly recommend and will be airing on Showtime in a few weeks as well. Then on the feature front, there is Riley Stearns' wickedly funny Duel about what Karen Gillan gets herself into when commissioning a clone of herself when she is told that she is dying. Speak No Evil is the best of the midnight selections I've seen so far about how much one couple is able to tolerate of their quote-unquote vacation friends' behavior. It squeezes discomfort to the max, and it may just be the best political allegory of the year as well. And speaking of which, there's also the very funny Emergency about what happens when 2 black friends are torn on helping a drunk girl get to the hospital, worried about how it might look and confronted by the police. Now, these are just some of the films I recommend, and next week I'm sure we'll be talking about some of the big deals as well.
Thank you, Erik, and happy Sundance screening to you.
Thank you, Angie.
Go to businessfirstam.com for where to see our show on TV.